Oh, okay.
It's not white liquid. It's white fuzz, you idiot.
I mean, listen, I'm not judgmental of your
Buzz
lifestyle
makes
choices.
me confused.
Is it gonna be something about dancing? Working out, butt cheek workout.
Void beetles.
Ugh. Ugh. Fucking Beatles. Oh, I'm ready to go inside and I like that.
Good. Make a lot of people nervous. Take a number, sweet cheeks.
Oh!
Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of Beyond Bytes, episode 4, Beyond Hope. Thank you for joining us. We are the Beyond crew. We are Twitch live streamers bringing you our first ever podcast. So thank you very much for watching. First host over there, Mr. Hot Dugan, Mr. Hot Dog, the most awesomest wiener to ever play a bass. So give a little bit of background, kind of let people know like what it is that you do, what you're working on, what's going on.
What do I do? What don't I do? I pretty much sit at home. But yeah, I'm basically your typical sort of tech geek, if you will. Mess around with computers all the time. Learning some game design stuff that I just recently started. Tinkered around with web design a little bit. Build computers, fix computers, play around with Linux. Of course, I love Linux, which is fun. Do a little bit of music stuff, play bass, occasionally sing.
He sings really well, also. He will be modest, but he sings well, and I have video proof of this. He unlocked my love for the song Santeria. Like, I get jiggy with it every time it comes on.
That's
Wow, you're so old.
What? Who doesn't like a little Will Smith? Come on.
Jiggy with it.
Jiggy with it.
Like my mom would just like, I'm it.
Oh, no.
So yeah, that's a majority of my doings.
Yes. Hot Dog is our tech man for Beyond. He's also co-learning some game development stuff with me. So soon we'll be able to make some video games, which will be an episode later down the line that we discuss once we actually dive further into it, know what we're doing, kind of. Not really. Anyway, our next host is Drop Bear, Sareebear, Salty Bear, Rage Bear, anything kind of bear that you can think of. That's what she is.
What do I do around here?
Yeah.
I cause
Nothing.
problems for everybody. I'm basically here for a constant flow of entertainment and silliness, and I stream on the channel. Not well, but consistent.
Consistently horrible.
Oh, it hurts my feelings. What else? I'm
got
sitting
louder.
here because I was invited. Did it?
Yeah.
I'm not speaking louder.
The volume got louder out of nowhere.
Sounds like a FragPaws problem.
Probably is.
She's the one editing.
Yeah, you get to go back and fix all this stuff.
Yeah.
So what else?
Bear does like everything. She does the intro, the outro. She gets clips together. Hot Dog does our schedule. He listens to me whine and bitch at 1 o'clock in the morning. Also, Sarah also does that.
I think we forget about all that stuff because it's just something we just do.
It's just
Yeah, it's kind of a part of their daily life, listening to me whine and complain in the middle of the night. So it's a
don't
thing.
have a choice.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Sarah was invited, but Hot Dog was dragged in with a ball and a chain.
That makes it sound like you guys are married.
Shackle on. It was just boom. I'm here.
Kind of. Don't press any legal action against me.
He still has free will. Don't call the cops.
Just a smidge. She has enough free will to wear the hat, and that's about it. So anyway, that's what they do. My name is FragPaws. I am the quote-unquote, I guess, host of this. I'm also the co-owner with Hot Dog of Beyond Recognition Gaming. We started off as a Call of Duty team on Xbox, and then I saw Twitch, and I was like, hey, that looks fun. So started doing that, met Hot Dog as a moderator through another person's live stream, and I was like, hey, we're going to do this. Cool. So
Pretty much how it went.
we've been streaming on Twitch for
A little over 2 years.
a little over 2 years. We've been wanting to do this for a little while. Kind of had some setbacks, and now we're finally doing it. It's happening.
A year in the making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much.
So very, very excited for that. We have a merch store. We have a couple of affiliate things. We're going to be doing game design and making games. Yes, Fade Grips. Do I have mixed over here? I don't. I do. Yes, I do. I lied. Have some of that. This is my lifesaver from Red Bull. Even though I've been drinking Red Bull again, but
I'm sad that I can't have caffeine because I could really use some of that.
I'm still like wondering if I can send you the sample packs and maybe you can just use like little bits.
I mean, I'm willing to try it.
Like maybe just like little sprinkles at a time to see like what you can and can't handle.
I like it.
Tiny.
I like sprinkles. So the topic for our first show is kind of gonna be letting you know who we are, kind of getting a base thing in. So our topic is best and worst games of 2018, 2017, what we hate, what we love, what we're looking forward to. So I know for me, one of the games that I love is God of War that just came out.
So jealous.
You should be jealous. You should be.
I'm about
You
to
totally
mug
should
someone
be.
for a PS4.
I mean, you can do that. You can totally do that.
Or you can just mug it.
Probably easily, but
Yeah. You see, you can do that. But much like Kingdom Hearts, because we're also waiting for that. We are finally have the game, picked it up, started playing it. It's graphically, holy shit, amazing.
bonkers.
Oh my god. Gaming goals. Like, if I could make something even half that good, I would be thrilled. Just even
Yeah.
half.
I'm still trying not to watch anybody play it currently because I have the dream that I'll get a PS4 and play it, but it probably won't happen.
Well, you asked me why I wasn't streaming it, or not why I was streaming it, but I said I was going to stream it, and then you made me feel guilty for potentially streaming it on a Monday. You're like, that's
I
nice
was
for people
like-
that don't work.
Thanks for streaming it for all the shitters that don't work Mondays.
Yeah.
Dang.
So I
I said I
decided to
didn't
hold
want
off.
anybody else.
Yeah, I decided to hold off so she could see it because I didn't want to feel the pout and the sadness and the.
You almost said I didn't want to
horribleness.
hear about it.
I
heard
thought
that.
about saying that. Thought about saying it, but
You should have.
yeah.
No,
I really
no
should.
balls.
But it's graphically beautiful. It does take place a long ways away from where the last one started. But it's really, really good. It has Kratos and his son. The one thing I will say, and it's not really a spoiler, but I will say that I find it rather disheartening that, at least from what I've played, that Kratos refers to his son as boy. So I've played about 2 hours of the game and I don't know the kid's name.
Oh,
I have no idea what his name is because he
you
just
want
says
them to
boy.
be like close.
Well, I mean, just use the kid's name. Like, don't call him boy. It's like me calling, human. Like, it feels like that. So, but I mean, the 2 hours that I did play is really good. The gameplay style is kind of like the old God of Wars, only amplified, and it's closer and it's not as third person. It still is third person, but it's a little bit more close up because the old God of Wars you're like really far away. So, but it's really good. I've done 2 boss fights now, and they're really good. It's nice because when you're fighting, you get to have Kratos' son kind of involved in that a little bit, which is kind of difficult to basically control 2 people at once, but I only died like 10 times in the first boss fight, so I consider that a success.
I was just thinking, I have a hard time controlling myself, so controlling other people on top of
Yeah. I mean, it helps. I mean, it does help. I won't, like, say how, but it helps with the fight. But it's just hard to remember that you have somebody else that you have the potential to control and help you. So, but yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Oh, shut up.
Yes. Because I pre-ordered, I got the fancy, pretty other shield, so I wear the blue and the gold shield because it's Predator. But it's really awesome. So it kind of feels like God of War and Witcher almost had a baby, because it's got all of those options in it. So you can do your arm. I know, that's why I said it. You can do your armor and your upgrades, and you have a skill tree and all these other things that are customizable for your playing and your play style. So I'm really, really excited to play more of it, and I'm really, really excited to stream it. I'm kind of happy that I'm waiting a little bit, because on Twitch right now it's so saturated. Like, I got an email today from Google Alerts telling me that God of War had a huge Twitch day yesterday. Huge.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, of course. We've been waiting like 15 million years for this damn game. It's going to be the same when Kingdom Hearts comes out. Just another game I'm waiting for. That's
15
really
million
hard.
years. When was the last God of War that came out?
Like 14
I had it
million?
on PS2 a long time ago.
There were
The
PS3
last-
releases.
Yeah, the last one was Ascension. That had came out a while ago. Probably like 7 years ago almost, I would want to say.
Really?
But I never beat Ascension. It was on PS3, and there was a part in Ascension where you went up this tunnel and you had to keep killing these waves of people, but once you started, you got no health. It didn't give you any health, so you had to go through all of this on 1 health bar. And I raged after about 3 days trying to beat it. And I never went back to it. I still have my statue, though. So, that has been, right now, my favorite game of the year. And it's really close to that all-time mark.
Cool.
So, I'm really, really excited about that. So, HotDog, what do you have is one of your tops?
So far I have Resident Evil 7, Nier Automata, Hellblade.
Oh, you love that game.
It was
Yeah.
Look at his face light up. He's
I
like,
love
yes.
I love it. Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. I was very, very surprised with how awesome that was.
I still need to play that.
And then Final Fantasy 15. I really enjoyed.
That looked a lot of fun, and I have never played a
It
Final
was.
Fantasy game ever, but that actually looked cool.
I was really excited that they actually took the time to make a PC specific version of it, not just plopping it over.
Not
Well,
just
first
a
off, that we got
transport.
it all, and then second, that they actually took time to make an enhanced version when they released it on PC.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a few things about it that could have been better. One thing in particular was the mouth movements with the dialogue. Whoever was in charge of that department, they fell asleep. Seriously, the mouth movements were not even near close to in sync with the dialogue.
They clearly need Red Bull.
Yeah, somebody needed something. But as
Was
far
it
as
made
the
for another language?
I mean, even when they take the sort of one size fits all thing where they kind of do just like generic mouth movements with the dialogue, they weren't even close time wise.
Oh yeah.
it was like the mouth would start moving, then half a second later the dialogue would start, or even like a full second later. Just wasn't even close. So I don't
feel
know.
like those
But apparently
those
the
things
console
you
version
should have
was like-
seen like through a trial play or something, and that should have been fixed.
But it was that way on the console too. Exact same. So it's like they just didn't bother.
Okay, well, the day that we don't bother to fix stuff like that in our games is the day you need to end my misery, because there's no way I would just
Yeah,
be like,
that
oh,
was-
it doesn't matter. That's cool. People figure it out. It's fine.
I'll be like, I'm throwing this shit out, guys.
Yeah,
I mean, they had a whole team in charge of that, and it's like, what were they doing?
yeah. So,
But aside from that, and a couple other very minor issues, like the game for me only crashed twice, and to me, with a game that is that huge, to only crash twice at launch was
yeah.
pretty impressive for today's standards.
Especially if you look at PUBG.
Like it froze like 2 or 3 times and it crashed like twice. That's forgivable to me when you got like how many
On
hours did I have?
launch, I feel like that's good, because
50 hours in that, 60 something.
there's a lot, yeah.
A lot of good gameplay there, then.
It was.
Beer, what about you?
Final Fantasy 45 hours.
45 hours. So games I have loved so far. Let's see. Fortnite, obviously. I just love that.
For that.
Yeah, I just love that it's not as serious as PUBG. I never played Call of Duty. I never played Counter-Strike. I don't like the real look. So it just feels more lighthearted and silly, which, you know, I play League of Legends, so that's kind of my thing. I liked, Frag heard me bitch about this last night. I liked A Way Out. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but there are twists and it evokes emotions. So,
Well, not
if
only
you
did
go
you bitch, but I saw James's Facebook post about it too.
So if you go into the game thinking that you're just gonna be happy all the time, that's not what they want. They want you to actually get invested in the story. And there's a lot of co-op. There's a lot of working together through stealth and completing tasks. So I really like that
Is
part.
it only co-op, or can you go through the whole story by yourself?
I never tried.
I'm wondering.
I
if
think
you
that would
can.
change the story completely if you didn't have a second person, because
That's true.
this whole twist is based on it being 2 people. Let's see. I also put down Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice because
So good.
I haven't finished it yet.
I'm the only person that hasn't played it.
I haven't finished it yet, but I think the game is beautiful. It is a great story. I did have some difficulty with some of the bosses on keyboard, and I thought maybe it would be easier to do her dodging moves on a controller, but I haven't tried that yet.
Controller worked very nicely for me.
Yeah, as soon as I was having problems, it's usually because my hands are just a little too small.
Yeah,
So I figured controller would be better.
with that kind of game, controller for sure.
I put Night in the Woods.
I've
It's
heard
like
of that game.
quirky
It looks
little
good.
side scroller. I like it because it's different and interesting. It has a cute little track in the background. I don't like to stream it though because they don't narrate everything they're saying. So I don't like to spend a whole stream reading the whole thing all the time.
Yeah.
And then for like family fun, I put Splatoon 2 because obviously
Who
it's
doesn't love some paint?
I would love to play that if I had a Nintendo.
Yeah, I bought the Switch for Mario because my son goes crazy for that, but he also ended up really loving Splatoon 2.
Nice.
He's better at it than I am, so
That's not saying much.
Little thing.
that's not nice.
Not saying much. Yeah, I'm the only
So-
one that played Hellblade. I'm like sad now.
It's awesome.
Odd person now.
The thing that I love about it is it technically is an indie game, and they're a much smaller team than what they would normally have for like a AAA game, and they were advertising it as half the game for half the price. that game is just as long as any of the other games from that company that I've ever played. And I mean, $30 versus the $60, and it's just as long.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
game is just gorgeous. The technology they use behind it is just awesome. Everything is just.
It
super
looked
stunning.
really good. I did watch you play it a little bit.
Yeah.
Hot dog. So
I played it through twice. Like as soon as the game ended, I started it right again because I just didn't want it to be over. Because
you
I
were
love
like
it.
that with Nier too, weren't you? You did a couple of
No.
playthroughs with that.
Well, it's just such a long game. I refer to it as the game that keeps on giving because
It's
when
like
I finish the
Christmas.
game, it's like, oh no, you just started. Okay. So I play through again on the other story. I'm like, okay, so I guess the game's over. Nope. There's another story arc. Play through that. Nope. There's another story arc. Like, are you kidding me?
It's just like a Russian doll where there
But
just
it was
keeps being
good.
more and more stuff.
Like, it wasn't a drag. It was like when they were like, oh, there's more game. Yay!
Right? That's always good though that you weren't expecting it. So
I wasn't at all. I was happy with the one story arc. I was happy with just the first story arc, and I thought, okay, not a super long game, but it was worth it. And then I'm like, no, that was just the very beginning. There's like 3/4 of a game left. All right, I'm
cool.
going
I ain't complaining. That's
but
good
it was
stuff.
really good. I mean, when it first came out, it was very poorly optimized, so it ran. The performance on it was like really shaky, and a lot of graphics cards had issues with it, and performance, like the frames per second, was really taking a hit. I had a hard time at first getting it to run at 30 frames per second consistently because there were some areas that would drop all the way down to like 7 just because of how poorly it was designed. But they went back and tweaked it a little bit, and there were a couple people just out in the community, fans of it, that made some patches. They're not official patches, but they fixed a lot of the problems, so the game runs a lot better. So it was actually enjoyable once those patches came out. So.
See, it's good they were paying attention on what they needed to fix.
It wasn't the developers that fixed it, though. It was the community.
Yeah, but
Sometimes you need that.
Yeah.
Sometimes
But
you need
it just bugged me that they were worried about putting out DLC that I don't know if very many people bought, because it was like $13 for a couple of extra outfits that you win in a battle arena, as opposed to going back and making sure the game ran smooth.
yeah,
So I was a little
priorities.
disappointed with that. But the game itself is still that enjoyable that I would still suggest buying it, even though it had some issues. But if you get the PC version, definitely look for the community patch for it. It'll help with just the performance overall, the frame rates, the smoothness of the graphics, because they were a little bit glitchy. There was an issue where the game would only run in 720p even if it's on a 1080 monitor. The patch fixed that, so it was at the right resolution, and it just helped overall. Just everything just ran better.
That's good. That's wonderful.
So,
some other games I was thinking about. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, I was gonna say you're the only one who can talk about that one.
Yeah, I haven't
I have
played
that
as
game.
much as I would like, much like many games that I own. But
Yeah.
like I said, like from what I've played of it so far, really, really cool concept. It's definitely not something I would have thought about on my own to make robotic freaking dinosaurs and shit. The concept is really cool, and I like that it's got all the side quests. Like, that's my favorite kind of game to play when I play that, is when it's got 6 million side quests that you have to do amongst the story, because it adds to the length and it adds to the experience of what's going on. Another one I like, Resident Evil 7. I'm a big horror buff. Anybody that's watched my live streams know that. Yeah. Sarah
A
doesn't,
lot of people
Sarah
were
doesn't
hard
like
on that
horror
because it wasn't like the
games
more
because-
recent one.
Sarah doesn't like horror games because I forced her to play them on stream, and then she screwed
I didn't
up
like
the
them
girl.
well before that, but then
I really made her hate them. Yeah, yeah. If you go through our other videos on YouTube and look at like our year in review video, you will see a lot of her room was
Screaming.
passing out.
It's fine.
Another one was Little Nightmares.
That looks good.
Still haven't played the DLC, but the initial game, it's not crazy long, but it's enjoyable enough to where the $30 was worth it.
Mm.
And the ending pissed me off because I couldn't figure out like what to do for about like an hour. Once I figured it out, it was fine, but
I think I saw that on Twitch.
you probably did. Let's see what else. It'd be probably the re-release of the Kingdom Hearts series, just because I don't own
2.8.
it. It's 2.8. Yeah, 2.8 I believe is what came out last year. But I don't own a PS3 anymore. So, and I've, much like everybody else, is waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3, and I need something to get my Kingdom Hearts fill until they get their heads out of their asses and finally get this game out. Also, that reminds me, it got announced today that Days Gone, which is the game that stars Daryl from Walking Dead, it got pushed back to 2019. It's supposed to come out this year.
Not too surprising.
Happens a lot.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
I mean,
So-
honestly, I'd much rather that they actually get the game right before they release it than to just push it out just because people want it. Just $1.
That's true. I agree with that. So there are some favorites. Do you guys have any other favorites that you guys wanted to add?
I mean, there are games that I liked, but I would have like wanted more from them. Like Destiny. I was super excited about Destiny.
Destiny breaks my heart every time.
I honestly, I really liked it, and the PC version of Destiny 2 ran amazingly smooth
It
all
did.
the way from the beta. Like the beta didn't crash. It ran as well as I could have expected any game to, whether it's finished or not. I loved it. It was super fun. It just felt smooth. It felt good. But once the story was over, that's it.
And that's how it was in the first one, and I should
Yeah.
have known better. I mean, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. It's fun to level, and it's fun to do the, the crucible and stuff. But
Yeah.
the story wasn't long enough, and especially once you do a second character, you fly through the story so much faster because you already know what you're doing.
And there's no side stuff like you're saying with those other games where they have side quests so you can get lost for hours, like Skyrim, for example.
Ah,
The main
yes.
story takes you like, I don't know, like 20 hours, 30 hours maybe. But you have like years of stuff that you can still do. And then there's mods on top of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's one of those timeless things. And then I recently saw teasers for Skyrim 6, although everybody's been talking about Skyrim
It's-
6 since
it's not
the
coming
last
out.
one came out. No,
Yeah, it's not coming out for a while.
everybody's just trying to get excited.
But with all the mods out there and stuff, like we've got content.
Yeah, there's stuff
and
to
I didn't
watch, yeah.
start getting into Skyrim until Special Edition came out, which I wanted to put that on the list, but it was just before 2017, so I couldn't.
Oh, well, still.
And it was the first.
good.
It was the first time I ever played Skyrim was when the Special Edition came out, and I was like, "Oh my god, why did I wait so long?"
I still haven't played it yet because I'm afraid that I'm gonna get sucked in,
You will.
and that's why I haven't played it yet
You will.
because I know better.
Wolfenstein 2. I thought it was a great game, but it's one of those that, like, once you're done with it, it's kind of forgettable. I
Yeah.
loved the one that was prior to that. That came out like 2013, I think. Maybe 2014. I don't know. The one prior to that, I loved it, and I still love it, and I'll boast that one like crazy. This one, it really was more of the same, in a good way. It's just that once it was done, it was like, okay.
Yeah.
I actually forgot about it until I was looking at the list of games that I played.
That's pretty.
But it was
that's pretty
good, but it was just forgettable, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get to play. The only thing I got to play, going back to me being a horror buff, is Evil Within 2. I haven't actually played the
Yeah.
full game, but I did
I
get to
haven't
play
played
a
it.
chapter and a half of it at the GameStop Expo that was
Mhm.
here, because I live in Vegas, and every other year the GameStop Expo is here. So I got to play a chapter and a half. Very good. So
It
it's
looks good.
probably going to be up there on my list. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But I played chapter 3 and half of chapter 4, and the beginning of chapter 3 like immediately just puts you into scaring the daylights out of you right off the bat.
Nice.
So I'm fine with that. Like the I love the concepts that they came up with for the villains and for the monsters that chase you. Like, I strive to have even half of that creativity to come up with that kind of stuff. Like, it's so cool.
We'll come up with something cool.
Oh, we'll come up with some messed up stuff. Expect some twisted
some
shit
very
from
cool
us.
Well, I think they're cool. But I have some ideas already.
Beer, did you have any more you wanted to add?
For games I liked.
Mm-hmm. No.
Nope.
Okay, so games we disliked. I'll get mine first because this is the very first game that comes to mind when I think of the game that I pretty much hate the most of all time. And I bought it on PlayStation, was really excited. It kept getting pushed back, was still excited. No Man's Sky will always be my ultimate heartbreak. Because first of all, I died within the first 5 minutes. There's hardly a tutorial kind of thing, and it's so slow, and there's really no dialogue. Like, the monsters in it literally just sit and grunt. They don't actually speak. It's just grunting, and I'm like, I can't get invested, but I don't know what the hell you're saying.
Yeah.
And just trying to figure out how to travel from the planets, and you constantly can't really do anything because your suit temperature is dropping or this is dropping, so you keep having to farm stuff just to keep yourself alive, let alone do anything else. So I was extremely heartbroken and pissed that I actually spent the money on that, and I played 2 hours of it and I will never go back.
Yeah, a lot of people were upset.
Yeah.
There were still people that were really defending it, like, oh no, they're making patches, they're updating it and all that. It wasn't so much that it was more so that they straight up lied about it than it just wasn't like a lot of stuff there. When you tell somebody that there's months and months worth of content to get into, and it's
a
just
huge open world with so much stuff to do, that's what everybody thought they were getting. So.
And that's the thing. Like, okay, I fully understand like getting a game that I know more content's coming out for. That's fine. But when they say that there's tons to do at launch and there's not, that's part of the problem.
Well, and like I said, to the farming thing is you're too busy just trying to keep yourself alive that you don't even know what content is out there because it's taking you so long to get to it. It was like every 5 minutes my temperature's dropping, so I have to like farm this material to make it so my suit temperature is fine or what have you. And it's like I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. There's no quest list. There's no nothing. You just literally have to just blind it. And I hate that, and it was just not enjoyable.
Well, I would have to argue that that's kind of like a sandbox style game where it really is just experimentation and just playing around with things. Kind of like Gary's mod. Like, they give you a box of tools and just let you do whatever you feel like doing.
True.
So if it wasn't meant to be a quest-driven game, then I could forgive that. But definitely it would be nice to know what the hell you have to do in the first place. But was it that you just had to build up your skills in order to be able to survive without having to worry about it so much, or was it?
Yeah, you had to level stuff, but the process was just so slow. And like I said, I died within the first 5 minutes because I didn't know what the heck I was doing because there was no, let me show you how to kill this little thing that's floating in the air shooting at you thing.
Gotcha.
And then the movement is so slow that I couldn't even get away from it anyway. So it's like, oh, I'm just gonna die, and I did, but yeah, just no.
Yeah, that was one of the games that I had on my list of games to stay away from and kind of see what happens.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
I waited.
Yeah. Well,
I'm so glad I waited.
some people really, really, really love it, and some people.
Yeah, there are people that still absolutely enjoy it for what it is, and that's great.
Yeah,
I don't really think anybody rode the line on that. They either were on this side or that side. There was no like, meh.
Yep. So what about you, Sir Dugan? What did you dislike immensely?
Well, I don't have like a specific list of like least favorites. I have ones that I'm kind of like, they're okay, and ones that I just completely stayed away from. As far as ones that I just completely stayed away from, like for example, No Man's Sky. I just waited to see what happened, and I was very glad I waited. Same thing with Mass Effect Andromeda. I was very excited to see that. I almost bought it at launch, but I'm like, yeah, I might want to wait on this one.
That game tanked so bad. And did you see the BioWare store is closing?
Yeah.
So
No, they're not even
everything's discounted.
supporting it anymore.
The
People
store
that bought the
is
season pass on that, they just dropped it. They weren't even given refunds for it. They're just like, nope.
well, like the store in general, like the merch store for BioWare is on a huge
really?
discount thing, and the store's closing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So any of you Mass Effect fans and stuff out there, you better get to that BioWare store because there's hoodies that are marked down from like 40, 50, 60 bucks down to $10.
Damn.
So now is the time to get your stuff.
I loved Mass Effect prior to that. I haven't even touched Andromeda, but the 1, 2, and 3, I adored those games. Again, as many people have been, I wasn't super thrilled with the ending of 3. Biggest thing that pissed me off with 3 was that your choices really didn't even matter. The first 2 games, they built it up like it was all about what your choices made. Really shaped what the game was going to end up being. It didn't. I mean, there were little side quirks, but it was mostly like, hey, remember when we did that thing, guy? Yep, all right. And that was pretty much
Remember
it.
the thing we did that one time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another game that I stayed away from was Prey.
Yes.
The reason I stayed away from that is because I've been waiting for the sequel to Prey that was promised right at the very ending of the very first Prey in 2005, 2006. At the very ending of it, it says to be continued. And they were talking about making a sequel for it, and it was in limbo for like 10 years at least. People started developing it, and they shelved it. Somebody else started it. They shelved it. Somebody else started it. And the story arc changed twice already in the sequel version of it. And now they released a Prey that pretty much just like discarded everything and started its own universe. So I was kind of mostly just being a bitter child with that one. I don't even know if the game's any good because I just stayed away from it because I just had that much of a grudge. Another one was Fear Effect Sedna. Fear Effect was a really cool game that I remember from the PlayStation 1. I can't remember if there was ever a PlayStation 2. I know there was 2 games. I can't remember if the second one was on PS1 or PS2. But it was sort of like an adventure-y, action-y sort of game. Almost like a Resident Evil kind of thing, but it had like a little bit more of a sci-fi kind of horror, really twisted story. I absolutely loved them. And then I got super excited to see that they made another Fear Effect, but it's one of those stupid little top-down
disappointments,
twin stick shooter kind of things almost. It was really disappointing, but I did see that they're working on a Fear Effect project called Reinvented, where they're redoing the very first game in the series, and I'm interested in seeing where they go with that, but I don't know. But back to my disappointed list. Friday the 13th, really cool premise, but there's not much to it. I would love to see them do more with it. I think it could be really cool.
Dead by Daylight is still, I think, better.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are going to hate me. PUBG and Fortnite. Not a huge fan of those games. They're just not my thing. I play them because everybody else plays them. And it's like, hey, we want to hang out. All right, fine. I'll hop on it for a couple hours. I did actually start to like PUBG a little bit, though. Aside from the hackers and the constant crashing and the lagging, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
If they fixed
The
a lot of that.
desync and yeah.
I do have to say, I'm a huge Fortnite fan. It's actually one of the main games that I stream right now.
I can't say it's a bad game. I'm just not a fan
Well,
of it.
it's just everybody's got their preference. Like Sarah said, she likes the fact that it's not the realism of it. She likes the fact that it's cartoony.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I stand with it, too. I like the fact that it's cartoony. It doesn't make me take it as seriously, I guess. Like, we can go off and use grenade launchers and then get shot in the butt with a Glock, which,
Yeah.
God, if anybody's seen me and her do duos,
It's terrible.
I mean, I've always been.
it's the reason why I still don't have a duo win.
I don't like that there's just so much randomness in it. I would like, I love games like Quake and Unreal and shooters that you really are developing your skill at getting good at. Fortnite and PUBG, yeah, you can get good at them, but it's just so much up to chance, and
Yeah.
you know, you could be super skilled and you just get shot in the back because you happen to be in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Or I drop in a
Somebody
house and there's no gun in there anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of
like,
need that
no
because
loot.
if I'm going to go against a player that is super skilled and we're all playing on the same thing and there's no ranking system to divide us into
Mhm.
different things, I kind of need that RNG because I might be the one that grabs the gun. And otherwise, if we both had a gun, I'm losing the fight every time.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of need
Me
that.
too, especially since I switched to keyboard and mouse. Let me tell you, my kill
Oh,
ratio
I'm
is
impressed you
tanked.
have. I'm impressed.
I'm trying.
Well-
I'm really trying.
I do have to shoot one more out there. Is one that is kind of a meh to me, and I'm saying Arc, and I say that because it is still rather unoptimized. They've come a long way from where it was before, but like they released a Linux version and I'm pretty sure a Mac version. They run like hell. They're terrible.
Yeah, Fallow bought that for me. I still have yet to open it.
I
Sorry, Fallow.
have it. I just super don't like building in survival games.
I like it to an extent. I get bored too easily, and when you go online, if you play Ark online, most of the people there are assholes. Like,
Yeah.
you will just get slaughtered. They'll steal.
You gotta
your
play
stuff,
with your
wreck
own group of people.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
play with your own
On your own
server.
server.
You got to play on a
yeah.
private server. But yeah, the Linux version of it, like I'm obviously a Linux nut. They put a Linux version out, which I'm super grateful for doing that. But at least make it playable.
No, that makes sense. Damn it.
I know.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, it's playable for some people if they turn all the textures off.
I mean, I have I have a
solid
Voodoo
colors.
processor. It's a 4790K, so it's still, 4 cores, 8 threads. I have a GTX 1080, and it still runs like shit on Linux. That's a problem.
Note to Arc.
Yeah. Like, I love that it's there. Just make it usable.
Yeah.
But the Windows version has come a long way, and it actually is pretty decent for those who are into that.
Yeah. Beer? What you got?
I mean, everything on my list of games I didn't like are already been talked about, so I can't really add anything extra.
You can say +1.
Yeah, +1 on Destiny 2. That was my super most disappointing purchase because I didn't even get through the whole story because I couldn't even make myself open the game again. I just felt like I was playing Destiny 1 again, but I had played a lot more for it. And
Yeah.
it just didn't, like, even I couldn't get James to open it again. I was like, are we going to play and finish leveling? He's like,
Yeah.
I'm all about playing it again if I have friends to play it with. It's just nobody's on it right now that I can tell. Well, on PC anyway.
I know
There's
that some of the
nothing
bosses have different mechanics, but I just feel like I'm always doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
There was one I forgot.
What?
What did you forget?
Outlast 2.
I was gonna mention that. That was gonna be my next mention.
It was so good, but it was so bad.
I
I
don't know. I didn't watch it at all.
As much as a horror game buff as I am, for me to not reopen Outlast 2 after a couple of hours of play is saying something. As much as I love horror games, and I have never went back to it after the first time I played it.
It did not live up to the first one. I'll still replay the first one and love it. The second one, it was gorgeous. It ran pretty good, but the story was disappointing. The mechanics of it were lacking. Like, there really wasn't anything exciting about it, except when you're running away from one of the enemies, like that witch lady. Running away
That's
from
the part
her.
I think
kinda
I got
scared
stuck
me a
on.
little bit, but she was annoying because it's one of those annoyances where the developers program an enemy to be at a certain spot just because your character's there. There's no other reason for that enemy to be there except that, oh, the player's there, so we'll put the enemy over there. They didn't see you go over there. It's just designed that way. The first Outlast did it too, and that pissed me off. But I still loved it anyway.
Speaking of side note, if you would like to see how well Sarah loved Outlast 1, go back and look at that review video.
I got 3 hours into it. I should have finished it.
She did get further than you for quite some time.
I had so much anxiety over opening it again. Like,
That's a nice goodbye.
I haven't went back to it.
You haven't gone back to it yet either. have you?
I'm going to. I'm definitely making it my goal for the rest of the year to do more horror stuff because I do like it so much. But I've been trying to split my time up through these other games. There's just never enough time. But when it first came out, Outlast was actually free on PlayStation. It was one of the free games. And I played 15 minutes of it in the dark. And I was like, fuck this shit, I'm out. It's like, nope.
I just love the fact that you rip on Sarah so much about playing horror games.
I played 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's my lot in life. All right.
While screaming and trying not to cry.
Whereas I play through the games, I'm just like, oh, hi.
We do have one time where Hot Dog doesn't get scared when he plays these, so the jump scares really don't phase him. One time he actually jumped. It's clipped.
I have it.
Yeah.
What's funny is it's
not a big jump, but it's a jump.
No, but it's action and adventure games that scare me because I'm not ready for a startle.
Wasn't his jump in Resident Evil 7?
No, it was Outlast.
There was it Resident Evil when he was like, ah, when someone
that was Evil Within.
That was Evil Within.
I still need to go back and finish that, actually.
Some of my favorite clips
from
that game.
I think there was a jump scare in Resident Evil 7, and I think there was 1 or 2 in Outlast 2. Trying to remember.
The beginning of Outlast 2 I enjoyed, and the only reason I enjoyed it was because I just didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But once I started understanding the premise of the game, it just...
Did it seem perfect?
That was kind of my thing, though, is like the very beginning of it, you're playing it, and you're like, oh my god, this is going to be awesome. And then nothing happened.
Yeah, it's very anticlimactic. There is one game that kind of looks like that, and I did tag you guys in on Facebook, so I know you saw it.
Yeah, I saw that.
The Beast Inside. It's a Civil War-based kind of game like Outlast, and that looks amazing.
For Allison Road, and I know that's been shelved and picked up.
Somebody, if there's a development company somehow watching this tiny ass podcast, please make it happen. Please.
It's still it's in development again, I think.
I really want that game.
I do too.
Somebody on the interwebs.
I mean, we didn't get PT. We need something.
Yeah, and that's gonna be one of my favorite things to make.
That's why I liked Resident Evil so much, because it kind of filled that void for me for a little bit.
Resident Evil 7 was really good. The only thing that disappointed me was the last boss fight.
Yeah, the last boss fight was not that. Compared to the rest of the boss fights, it was nothing.
Well, like the rest of the boss fights, you needed like a flamethrower and all this other stuff. Yeah. And for the last boss fight, I got worried that I didn't think I was gonna beat it because I only had 12
ammo and I still won.
I only had 12 clips left in my handgun, and that was all I had, and I won. And I was like, why?
It was like you were scripted to win.
Yeah, and I don't like that. I don't want to be scripted to win. I need to earn it. I need to be pissed off and hate my life and beat the screen and then come back to it a week later and beat it. That's what I need.
I still need to get to the DLC. I haven't touched that.
Oh, you should do that.
But it looks good.
Yes, it does. It does.
But yeah, I enjoyed that. But anyway.
Another game I was kind of disappointed with that I was really excited about was Doom.
Really?
Doom, and I don't know. Maybe I was just expecting something different. It's not like I didn't enjoy it, but I wasn't as crazy about it as I was hoping. Because anybody that knows me knows that Doom and Duke Nukem were the 2 games that I ever first played. Ever. Which, good job, Dad, showing your 10-year-old that game for the first time.
Ultimate Doom was the first PC game that I ever actually owned.
They're all so good. I still have all the original CDs and the discs and everything.
Yep, I got the disc too. Yep.
And I did get to do the alpha for the multiplayer, in which we had to sign the contracts that we wouldn't stream it. So I had to be excited, like, to myself. And the story was good. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I just didn't want another Doom. Maybe I was just happy with it being the old pixelated thing that it was. Because there's just some games that were great when they were first made that you should not touch again. And I feel like that, and I feel like Duke Nukem 3D, which granted is not recent, but the Duke Nukem that we waited 20 years for.
Oh, Duke Nukem Forever, yeah.
Yeah.
There are a lot of games that I think it's like a generation gap thing too. It's like movies. When movies get remade because or somebody brings back a TV show because they loved it when they were a kid, it's a different person doing it, and they're just not in the same mindset. And then you also have publishers getting their ass things too.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
But
anybody that likes the 2000
this is the trend now, you need to put this in the game, but it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm funding it.
Anybody that likes the 2003 Jessica Biel version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre over the one in the 1970s just needs to not be in my life. I don't need that kind of negativity, because
I will say
I hate all of them.
The sequel that they made for it was really, really good.
That's one of the few games that kept me, one of the movies that kept me up at night. That and the very first Saw when it first came out. That kept me up at night.
I never got into the Saw movies.
I got sick of them after like 3, but when it first came out and you saw it, and next thing you know, Tobin Bell is rising from the bathroom floor. He was there alive the whole fucking time. And you're like, what? Oh my god! There could be people around here and they're not really dead. And there's weird, creepy people watching me. I had to turn the lights on, cartoons. I called a friend. I phoned a friend. I was done. I think I stayed up for like 5 hours after I watched that movie. It was traumatizing.
Yeah.
That's where my imagination gets me. So some of the games I have to say I'm looking forward to. I actually just did a new pre-order list when I went to get God of War. Vampire comes out soon.
That's on my list.
Looks so good, and we need a good vampire game. We have things in our life like Twilight. I need a good vampire game, please, please. Nothing against Twilight. Don't get me wrong. Alice is hot, but I'm just saying that. Don't look at me like that. Do you see this?
I'm just upset that I know who Alice is.
Yeah, that's true too. It's kind of better without that. Vampire Detroit Become Human. This is going to be my new Beyond Two Souls love. Anybody that knows me knows Beyond Two Souls is my ultimate favorite game ever. I weep like a baby at the end of it every time.
Cry fest.
Like the stream that I had where I cried at the end and then I immediately put on The Last of Us, cried again 5 minutes later because
I was
the
like,
beginning of it's terrible.
Killing me.
It was just a weep-a-thon for like 20 minutes.
I'm just still traumatized by that poor girl in the alley.
Yeah. I mean, things had to be done, hot dog. I had to make decisions, okay?
You made the wrong one.
I had to go both. I'm trying to get different. There's 27 different endings, and I've gotten maybe like 5.
Wow.
So, but Detroit Become Human, that's going to be my fix for that. And Heavy Rain also.
Heavy Rain was awesome. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. But I love murder whodunit things. Like, that's my bread and butter right there. Detroit Become Human, I was looking forward to Days Gone, but now I gotta look forward to it even longer. Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm waiting for.
That's gonna be on every year's list.
I know. They keep doing teasers of like, oh, they're gonna show this at E3. Showing it at E3 literally means nothing. Unless I physically have the game in my hand, I don't care what you show me at any convention, I don't care. Until I have the game in my hand, I will never believe this game's coming out.
It's like Final Fantasy VII teasers.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm hoping, there's been talk about it. I'm hoping they come out with another Dying Light 2. Again, if you watch the review video, one of our favorite games to play together, because I like to blow people up, and Sarah likes to destroy all of us, so.
Dying Light is amazing. I love it still.
That's a very, for me, there's not a lot of games that I've played that have a high replay value because I get bored quick.
Oh, that one definitely.
But that one, I will play over and over and over again. I love it. I love just slicing zombies' heads off with machetes. I mean,
I just recently got re-addicted to it.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
saw.
I have simple loves in life, and just slicing zombie heads with machetes is one of them. I don't think that's too much to hope for.
From what I've been hearing, Dying Light 2 won't be happening. Dead Island 2 was one that was supposed to happen, but Dying Light kind of took its place. I mean, I can't imagine that they wouldn't do something from Techland, because they've been successful. They've been relatively successful with Dead Island. They've been really successful with Dying Light, from what I can tell. Like, it's not a super popular game, but it's like one of those kind of cult following sort of ones.
Yeah.
But they've done quite a bit with that for them to not have something else. Plus, they're still making content for Dying Light.
And
Yeah.
it's free at that. I
Yeah.
do want to point that out. Their content that they're releasing is free.
Yes.
Big bonus points in my book for that one because, like, I have the money to keep buying DLCs, please. I gotta add that penguin to your little box up there.
Yes.
Still, just for.
I can give you a Debian swirl to put on there. That'll work.
Oh, isn't that's that blue swirly thingy, right?
It's red, but I have a blue version of it.
Do you like
But
blue?
the official one is red.
What are you looking forward to, Beer? What's on your list?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Cyberpunk 2077 because I love CD Projekt Red. Obviously, I love The Witcher 3. It's my favorite game of all time.
How many hours?
Really 400 plus right now.
Mhm.
I'm on my 4th playthrough. And
I
I've
haven't even
played
finished
Witcher
my
2
first.
twice.
Me with Borderlands.
And I played Witcher 2 twice, and I'm halfway through the first Witcher. So I just want to see what this company can do because they put a lot of time into details and story. So I'm excited for that. I saw a trailer for Greedfall, which ended up piquing my interest a lot because you can choose your faction. So your story and your time spent in the game is going to be different depending on what side of the war you end up choosing to be on. So I thought that was really interesting. And then obviously Far Cry 5. I haven't been watching anybody play it. I want to play it, but I'm
enjoying it so much.
waiting.
I want to get it.
It's so much fun. Oh my god, it's so much fun.
Those are my most excited for games.
I can have a puppy dog as my partner. Who doesn't want doggies following them around in game?
You
I
can
You
have
don't
a
want the
mountain lion.
bear?
I don't have the bear yet. I only have the puppy. I haven't gotten that far.
What was the damn bear's
You
name?
get-
It was something funny.
It's the mountain lion.
There's that one too. Right now I just have the doggy. I haven't gotten as to the other islands where you could unlock the
Cheeseburger. The bear's name is Cheeseburger.
cheeseburger.
And they're not names that you pick. That's just the names that they
Mhm.
give them in the game, which is fantastic.
Yep. So Far Cry 5, anything else or
Well, if we're cheating, I have a whole list of games that I
If we're
already
cheating.
own that I'm still excited to play that I haven't
okay,
played.
what games do you have for that?
The Tales from series. I've been collecting games for that. You know, Tales from Berseria or whatever, all those different ones.
Oh, Tales of.
Or Tales of,
Yeah.
I wrote from for some reason. Neo or Neo?
Neo.
Yeah. Zelda, I have that on Switch. I haven't played it yet. Mario Odyssey, I haven't played yet because my son is a butthole.
Fair enough.
Good thing he's
I-
not watching this.
I want to play Nier also. I just bought it. And the Dreamfall series I have.
Dreamfall is awesome. I love it.
I have all the games.
Nearly
It's just
blind.
about making the time.
Tip on those, Dreamfall: The Longest Journey. There are some audio issues with it, and I ended up playing it on Linux under Wine, and it ran very well.
Yeah.
But on Windows, it had a lot of issues, and it actually prevented the game from being played. Dreamfall Chapters, and great.
That was such a good game.
It was.
It really was. It takes a lot for me to get invested to watch other people play story games, but I was invested in that game. Like when you were streaming it and I wasn't home, I was like, the fuck. I'm missing out on all this story.
You did get pissed off.
I did, and when I went to his stream, I was like, all right, you need to stop what you're doing right now and update me on what's happened. Like, I need to know.
She straight up did.
Yeah,
That's
it was
really
so
funny.
good. It was so good.
It was good.
Yeah.
I'm happy to stream it again.
I still have to play it.
I still have to play. There was one game that came out this year that is by a smaller dev company, but it was a game called The Pain Street Killings. That was on Kickstarter. It looks really good. Like I said, I love the whole murder mystery whodunit thing. That's basically what it is. So anything where I can figure out who killed who, and I got to use my detective brains, I'm all for that. So
Would you just like Clue?
I mean, I do have the Golden Girls version of it, so that is a thing.
Yes. I thought we were gonna figure out how to play that.
No,
Is
we
it-
will. We totally will.
It's not even
will be
figuring
fun.
it out. It's we're gonna point a camera at the board. Frag's gonna move all our pieces, and we're gonna have a great time.
Yeah,
Hooray!
we all know
Awful.
who all the characters are gonna be. I would have to say.
You're the slutty one.
Yeah, no, I already know. I already know. I'm Blanche all the way. I already know. But I already know who Rose, and I know who Dorothy is, and then Rose.
See, I don't even know all the characters.
I
There's
thought it was
four.
gonna be Sophia.
I don't watch it.
Why? What is wrong with your life?
I'm
There's
busy.
too
with
much anime to watch.
stuff.
I know. There's too
I
much
know,
anime. That's
which I've been
that's
watching,
something that we need to add to our list. We need to
yeah.
have an anime show.
I thought
I've
we
been
did
watching-
the weeb.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the Weeb episode, right?
Oh, that's gonna be that's gonna be a long show. Just
I'm
saying.
watching a certain.
This is a long show. We're at an hour right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So.
We're chatty.
we're that amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a bunch of games. Like I just recently got Uncharted Legacy. I got that one. I got the Nathan Drake series as well. The only Uncharted I've actually played was 3, and I have the collector's edition still of that downstairs. That was really cool. So there's a lot of games I need to play. I need to play the last episode of Batman, The Evil Within, and then I need to swallow my conscience for a little bit and make different decisions because everything in me does not allow me to pick anyone other than Catwoman.
So you're
It's
trying
so
to get a different outcome?
hard for me to go against her because there's options in the game where I can say, screw you, Catwoman, I'm going for Harley. And my heart can't do it.
That would have
Yeah, but
My
why
heart
do you
can't do it. Because I want to see like what's going to happen, but just I need
watch a
something.
YouTube video after you?
I probably will because I can't make that decision. I can't say no to Catwoman.
You don't want to feel like you've ruined your outcome. Just watch someone else.
I don't need my heart broken any more than what real life has already been doing.
That's
to
what
me,
I go
so.
through in Witcher every playthrough because I'm like, okay, I'll try for different options, and then I'm like, but I don't like
can't.
this option.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's so hard. It's so hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a shitload of games. I'm sure all of us are in the same boat with. There's a shitload of games that we own, and there's just never.
That we just don't have time to play
We
yet.
just don't have time. And we're like, oh god, that game looks so good. Oh, but I gotta do this, or oh, we gotta do this, or we're playing this. Gamer struggle, guys. Gamer struggle. Eventually, I will make an effort to get through it because I definitely want to stream for my PlayStation more because, and everybody will do the whole Xbox versus PlayStation fight. It will be endless. But I will
I don't care.
say,
It don't matter to me.
yeah. Well, I will say, for story games, if you love that, PlayStation is the way to go.
Yeah.
I don't
If I were to get a
care
console,
about-
and maybe a Switch. Maybe.
Yeah, PlayStation has just been literally just the best storytelling. You know, there's Xbox exclusives, and I've seen what they are, and I'm not impressed with any of them.
There's never really Xbox exclusives because Microsoft owns it, and they're obviously going to push it to PC also.
Well, you got that.
Well, exclusive as far as it not being available on PlayStation as well. Like Anthem is going to be
Yeah.
one of those games. Sea
Yeah,
of
but-
Thieves, I think, is one of those.
Yeah, PlayStation just has so many more exclusives because they don't have other things associated with them. It's just
Yeah.
PlayStation.
So,
So
but
what's Hot Dog looking forward to?
what
Hot
else?
Dog.
Hmm?
What's he looking forward to?
So I have a list of games that I haven't been able to play that I've been wanting to from 2017 and 2018 that have already been released, and then I also have ones that I'm looking forward to that haven't been released yet. So ones that I haven't been able to play yet from 2017 that I would like to are Life is Strange Before the Storm, and that is getting a Linux release very shortly. Also, Rise of the Tomb Raider just got released on Linux as well. It is actually on my game list now because I've had it for a while. So I'm
Shadow
excited
of
to check that out.
Tomb Raider's coming out too.
Yes, that is on my other list. South Park: The Fractured But Whole, Assassin's Creed Origins. There's a game called Pyre that is made by the people that did
Oh,
Bastion and
I
Transistor.
just got that.
Yeah, it looks amazing, and every one of the games from the company that made that I've played so far were awesome. So I really want to check that one out. Middle Earth: Shadow of War, Evil Within 2, Dot Hack, GU Last Recode, which I believe was a compendium of all the major ones in that. Ease 7 for PC. E7's been out on PSP or PS Vita for a while, but it just got released on PC this past summer. Games from 2018 that have been released. I want to play Far Cry 5, Devil May Cry HD Collection because I haven't played any of the early ones. Secret of Mana, I would like to try playing the remake of that. Ni no Kuni 2 looks really
Oh yeah, I talked to you about that one. I was
Yeah.
like, I have to talk to
It
Hot Dog.
looks-
He
it
likes
looks
these
awesome.
games.
One of our friends, Ash, has it, and I believe she's enjoying it quite a bit from what I can tell.
You know, she comes
also-
home today.
What's that?
She comes home today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that. And Ease 8, I believe, just recently got released on PC. Finally, it was supposed to come out this past summer, but it didn't. But I believe it came out now. Games that I'm looking forward to that haven't been out yet. The Crew 2 looks like it should be pretty neat. I did get The Crew as a free game when I got my GTX 970. And it had a lot of promise to it, but it still needed more. So I'm hoping that they do a decent amount with the second one. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is closing out the trilogy of the newer Tomb Raiders, and I'm very eager for that one. Looks awesome. Dragon Quest 11, I'm eager to see where they've gone with the franchise recently. There's a game called Elusive Age that looks pretty neat. Monster Hunter World, when that comes out on PC, I would like to play it. The full release of We Happy Few looks really good.
Oh yes.
The Wolf Among Us Season 2 looks awesome.
I was pissed because the beta thing of We Happy Few, I
Yeah.
couldn't keep playing it because the damn quest glitched. So I literally
Really?
couldn't go any further in the game.
Well, that's shitty.
Yeah, it was shitty.
Soul Calibur 6, I am hoping they kind of come back to the original Soul Calibur, because that was my absolute favorite one of the franchise, was the first one. I played that like almost every single day on Dreamcast when I got home from school. I loved it. And the ones after it just didn't feel right. So I'm hoping this one is going to be good. Quake Champions, when that gets released.
Yes.
Vampire, as you were saying, looks awesome. My retro inner child is excited for the Sega Genesis Classics Compendium.
Wait, there's Spyro coming out this year too.
Spyro will be out on console,
September.
so I can't comment on that. And Metro Exodus looks really cool. That'll be continuing from Metro Last Light. And those games, Last Light and 2033, were amazing. And
Was it Last Light or Last Night?
Last Light.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff
There's a ton of stuff.
that's coming out, and there's there's going to be more. So
Oh yeah.
I am very much on the fence. So people that know my background, I started off console gaming playing Call of Duty. I've played for many teams. I've ran my own team. I'm currently on a team where we're supposed to do some professional matches. The season's starting in June. I'm very much on the fence whether or not I'm going to buy this coming one. I hated Infinite Warfare. I love World War II, don't get me wrong. But ever since I started branching out, because when I first started playing Call of Duty, it was all I played. I didn't play any other game. Like, it was Call of Duty or I just didn't game. So now that I've been branched out to all these other games and these genres and all these other things, like, my interest in Call of Duty has been diminishing over the years to where I used to get so excited and I would bring coolers and pizza and stuff to midnight releases, which I have pictures of.
I remember you telling me.
I made hot wings. I made enchiladas. Like, it was 4 hours of me sitting there before midnight just chilling with the guys. And now I see stuff of the new one coming out and I'm like, eh.
It's really just more of the same. Like, the graphics get a little fancier. They add some extra sci-fi mechanic that personally just pisses me off because it doesn't fit.
Well, it's just like any multiplayer game that's been out for a long time. How different can you still keep making it?
Right.
What more individuality can you bring to the new games that you haven't done already? So I just can't figure out what more they can do that would at least re-engage my interest to want to keep playing it. I don't see it, and it makes me sad. But I have other things to replace it. Like, I have Overwatch. You know,
Yeah.
I love Overwatch. I have Fortnite. I have PUBG. I have these other things, and I just can't see Call of Duty continuing for much longer. Even though the esports for this game is still huge, but I don't really know how much more longevity this is gonna have because I don't see what you can do to it that's going to spark people's interests that have been playing it for a long time. If you're like a 15-year-old that doesn't know the previous ones, yeah, but for seasoned veterans like me who know since the very first one that ever came out on PC, I just completely
Yeah,
lost
they're
interest.
probably just looking to attract new players. Just people who are into the graphics being better and are picking it up at the newest version, not someone who collects the old games.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of the curse of the publisher thing again, where they're just going to keep pushing what's selling. So it's not going to really be original because they don't want to take chances on something that they know is already making a ton of money.
I mean, that makes sense from a business perspective.
And that's the thing. Like, most of the CEOs of these publishers, they're not gamers themselves like they used to be. They're businessmen. And the only thing they care about is pleasing their funders, their investors. That's all they care about is the digits. They don't care about the games anymore like they used to. It used to be when a game company started, it was a group of gamers that wanted to make a game. Now it's a group of people that want to make money however they find an avenue.
Yeah, I hope and I do believe that we will always stay humble enough to always care about the game more than any money. I can go make money doing whatever. If I make money doing it or if I don't, I'm still gonna enjoy what I'm doing. Because God only knows I spend enough years doing what I don't like doing. So, kind of had enough of that one.
Yeah.
That's a nice transition of instead of doing what you hate in order to fund what you love doing, into making a living by doing what you love doing.
Yep.
I look forward.
I do too. This is one step closer to bigger things for sure. I think. So I think, unless you guys have anything else you need to add, I think that's it for.
Microsoft socks.
For what?
Microsoft socks.
Oh gosh.
Oh, Linux fanboy forever. He's trying to make all of us switch too. I don't know how many times he's been like, well, you wouldn't have this problem if you're on Linux.
I wouldn't have any of my games
Yeah.
either.
Yes, you would. My Steam library, of the 359 games in total that I have, 132 of them I can run straight off of
I'm
Steam.
150% too lazy to do this.
Anything, all right.
Uh,
It's getting better.
he'll keep trying. He'll keep trying.
We just got Rise of the Tomb Raider. We're getting Life is Strange Before the Storm. We already have it.
There you go.
No.
And it's so pretty.
So I think that is it for episode 1 of Beyond Bytes. Yeah, episode 1, episode 4, Beyond Hope. It definitely went a lot longer than we were planning, but we are long-winded folk here, and we have strong opinions.
I am full of hot air.
There you go. There you go. So, make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you guys like, leave some comments. Let us know what are you guys looking forward to? What do you hate? What do you love? Kind of give us an idea of what genre of things the people are watching us out into interwebs enjoy. I definitely want to hear. Love the hot dog hat, yeah. But yeah, so this is going to be it. Right now, we're only on an every 2-week film schedule. If you guys want to see us every week, let us know. Because the more support you guys give the show, the more often we're going to film. So I would love to be able to film every week. I was not going to lie, I was nervous about doing it. And I swear I've had like the most fun ever doing the show. So it's really, really enjoyable. So let us know what you guys think in the comments. Like I said, every 2 weeks. So our next show will be, I know dates, I swear. It'll be Cinco de Mayo.
Woo!
Yeah. That means tacos will be had on this camera right here. There will be tacos. Not Coronas though, because I can't drink beer because it's gross. But she'll do that one.
And it'll be my birthday one. Yeah.
Yep.
So Sareebear is gonna be trashed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Looking forward to that.
I'm sure the world is too.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate all and any support. There, yeah. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, whatever it is that you feel like supporting in any capacity. We really do appreciate it. And we will see you guys next time on Beyond Bytes. Bye.
Yay!
Survived.
An hour and 15 minutes later.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That did not